I'm quite proud of Paul's grandpa Ray, my dad, for his role in World War II. But yeah, that's what he did. Then,
you like the Guy Fawkes mask?
Then Paul's other grandfather, his grandpa Bill, Susan's father, served in the Army, but between World War I and World War II, and he was actually stationed in Hawaii. And all this is before Pearl Harbor, so he wasn't there for the actual outbreak of war. But he served, as well as her Uncle Dale, who served during World War II in artillery for the Army. So between, Paul, like I say, we as a family are military friendly, even if we haven't directly participated in the military ourselves. Well, I guess we might
and Uncle Bruce got unfriendly welcome back.
Well, and yes, Uncle Bruce, like many Vietnam veterans, noted a kind of hostile, in some cases hostile, and in other cases, those that were friendly didn't really say much in support of the Vietnam veterans. So I think a lot of Vietnam veterans really felt
depressed,
very depressed, and very unappreciated. They answered the call, they served, and they came back to scorn and hatred from some, and sort of a kind of an indifference for many others.
Did they threaten your family?
Well, and I've told Paul the story that we never really had a direct threat on us, but when my brother's name appeared in the paper as one of the people who would be serving in Vietnam, we got a call from, there's the ocean. We're coming up on Bayonet Blackhorse Golf Course too. Yeah, imagine you're living in like a duplex and you're right next to a PGA golf course. Okay, and look at, here's Bayonet. All right, so to continue my story, yes, a man called us and was talking to my father. My father got really concerned and had us turn out all the lights in case somebody was, there was a sniper positioned outside. And it was not a totally illegitimate concern. Things were, the so-called peace activist could be quite violent.
The hippies?
And then I think it's like many protest movements. There are people who will use a legitimate, heartfelt protest to position themselves to cause mayhem and provoke all kinds of disruption and general confusion to people, to the status quo, to the establishment, man. And it was so it wasn't totally ridiculous to think that there was some violence that might be directed at us, accompanying that strange phone call. That basically the man that called spent a better part of his time talking about what a mistake it is to let your son go and be part of the military and be part of the Vietnam War. And I think my dad kept his cool, but it did rattle our cage. It didn't make us think any more better of what the man was trying to argue to us, that we should somehow consider how evil the Vietnam War was. However, we did wonder how many kooks are out there that could go crazy on with the public information there might be available about those of us families that have a loved one serving in Vietnam. So wasn't good, wasn't fun. It was kind of a tense moment or whatever. Yeah. Okay, well, Blackhorse Bayonet, isn't this cool?
I like the face masks.
I don't see any face masks. Where?
I saw a rule.
Oh, you saw a rule, but you didn't see any face mask. Rules are one thing, practice is another. Okay, well, you know what? I think it's time to wrap it up. Paul, you worked with Teacher Janet today. What else was good about today?
We took 2 drives.
We took 2 drives, not just one. Okay, and then one more thing. What was really good?
I don't want to get that. I learned how to get attention by being positive.
That's one of the things he and Teacher Janet are working on. A lot of life skills. He's got good academic skills, and we're not as concerned about those as so much as his life skills at this point in life. Okay, so I think it's also cool that we got the blackboards that we ordered, and we learned a new thing. We've learned from Teacher Janet that there's such thing as a liquid chalk. Now, I was a teacher for almost 20 years, and I never heard of liquid chalk. I guess I should have. You see it at various stores. They'll make little blackboards, and they'll do these beautiful designs, and I always wondered, did they just do that with a regular colored chalk or what? And now I know. It's liquid chalk. It's pretty amazing stuff, honestly. And so that was cool. Now, tell everybody what's one bad thing about today?
I asked her about gangrene.
Okay, so you're worried about type 2 diabetes, neuropathy, and injuring yourself, not feeling it, and for gangrene to develop, right?
Yeah.
Because we saw somebody who was on Biggest Loser, his father stepped on a nail, and only a couple of weeks later did he even notice that he had stepped on a nail because he had such bad nerves in his foot. So anyway, long story short, they ended up having to amputate his foot. It was pretty bad. Yeah. Well, okay. And you know what? We're making progress. I mean, getting out here twice in one day. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. Well, Raft of Wandering Otters, see you in the next one. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Anything else?
And that's all.
And that's all. True story. Well, this is the view from our bank. That's our bank right there, and then right out there is Monterey Bay. We're actually on the grounds of the old Fort Ord, and is sort of a mini shopping center. The Post Exchange, PX, is right past that bunch of bushes right there. There's other little stores here. There used to be an active theater back that way, but now that's a Habitat for Humanity restore site. But anyway, this is the old Fort Ord. Oh yeah, and then there's a post office, no longer, a decommissioned post office, I guess. Laundromat's still active.